Ricardo, es un honor para mí estar aquí con usted, el tener pues la oportunidad de que nos pueda dar su tiempo y que podamos hacer este podcast juntos. Muchas gracias.
Eso, nada, el placer mío. So I've been a real estate developer all my life. When I moved to Miami 33 years ago, that's what I was doing. I did a lot of different projects, from office warehousing to condos and hotels and things like that. One of my first projects actually was the first condo hotel in South Florida. I was just moving from Brazil and I was shown the Mutiny shell. Was already empty as a old hotel. I remember we were trying to save the structure. It really worked for a hotel because of columns and ceiling heights, but hotel were not popular at that point, funny enough. And it didn't really work for a residential. So I, coming from Brazil, I didn't know better. I said, what about an apart hotel? Which was what we'd seen in Brazil. And people looked at me like, what? So I joked that half of my time at that point in my life was explaining to people what a condo hotel was. So we did the Mutiny. We did then the Sonesta, which is now Aria next door in Coconut Grove, as also a condo hotel. And then later I gravitated into hospitality, more like on a stronger fashion. Did a luxury hotel in St. Bart, Le Sereno. We created a brand around it. It's still there, very successful. Now Sereno opened in Lake Como, and started also doing Ritz-Carlton residences. So did in Singer Island, Palm Beach, did Miami Beach out of old Miami Heart Institute, and now finalizing one in Pompano Beach in partnership with Fortune. So, did a little bit of everything like this. I have a company in Brazil. I'm from Brazil originally. We did many hotels with Accor, Novotel, Ibis, like 12 hotels with them. So I'm one of the rare developers that has both experiences. I've done plenty of residential and plenty of hotels. And so, Domus and the brand and what we're doing originates from all of this. I could even say almost culminate that journey. So what happened is I became partners with Edifica a few years ago. And Edifica, it specializes into smaller apartments that they sell for investors. So Edifica, they done over 70 buildings. They do 4 or 5 buildings a year, and they all with the same. When they wanted to come into the U.S., and they wanted to do, of course, the type of apartments that they were used to, I felt that it sounded a lot what I had done before as this condo hotel, but truthfully, I had lost my faith into condo hotels. I thought that the model was outdated. Like if you did a taxi company now, you wouldn't start a taxi company, and I wouldn't do a condo hotel. And we think that this model we're creating, that we call flats, or flexible apartments for temporary stays, is the Uber, is the new and better structured, more efficient version of the old condo hotels.
Yeah, of course. Considering your extensive experience in the real estate sector, what led you to choose Brickell in the city of Miami?
In our model, one of the main things is that the location needs to be a hotel location. So we wouldn't build a Domus just because there's demand for residential or for condos. Brickell happens to be one of the best hospitality location in South Florida. I'll give you an example. The performance of hotels in Brickell is about 30% higher than a hotel in downtown Miami. So if you were buying a unit to rent, you should be paying 30% less in downtown than Brickell. So Brickell filled that, check that box, because we believe that we're a hotel first and a condo second.
And Brickell have everything, have restaurants, have everything.
Well, the number one it has is the hotel demand. So for us, I mean, we believe that our buyers, yes, they want to use it when they're in town, but a lot of them are buying to rent.
Yeah.
So for them and for us, the important is for it to be attractive to hotel guests,
For sure.
which is our pose.
For sure. What key factors make Domus an attractive opportunity for investors seeking good returns?
I mean, listen, the top return, of course, is real estate in Miami. If you look at it, it goes up and up and it's not going anywhere. That's, I think, the most motivation for people is just having a piece of Miami in a great location, how is in Brickell. Now, people also like to rent either for investment or when they're not using. So this hybrid product becomes an attractive product. Domus has the very developed, very high-end technology. So with AI, with 100+ platforms, we have our product in about 1.4 billion people a month, and everything is seamless. I guess I did that comparison with Uber because that's what it is. It's technology. The guests would be able to book the room, do the check-in, get their key, get the service, and check out on an app. They don't even have to talk to anybody. That's the next stage of hospitality. It's all easy. You know, I keep saying that in today's day, because of technology, accessible, easy service is the best service. Nobody wants to deal with talking to people for things. They want everything to be ready for them without having to do anything. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yes, it's true. Given your significant experience with the Ritz-Carlton, how do you incorporate that expertise into Domus? It seems to be a connection between that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's, Ritz-Carlton, it's all about treating people, ladies, and this is the ladies and gentlemen's motto. And that's also what we want to do. Actually, one of the characteristics of what we're doing on the flats is we, instead of trying to do all the services on a mediocre form, which is what typically hotels do, we're bringing best-in-class service providers to be our partners. So for example, the valet service, it's former Ritz-Carlton people that started a valet company that's focused on hospitality. And so it's all high-end hospitality on the valet interaction. We're gonna do the same thing with the restaurant, food and beverage experience, the same thing with housekeeping. So everything that's part of our universe wants to be Ritz-Carlton quality.
Wow. What was the inspiration behind the pickup room and the cypress rooms in both towers?
So the idea is to activate the lobby. You know, we as part of our concept, and we keep in and out of the concept, right? As part of our concept, there's no wasted space. Because when you do wasted space, you need to charge the buyer for it, and then you need to charge the HOA to maintain it. So the idea here is that the lobby gets replaced by something of use. So, and it's what people want. They want their coffee, they want pastries, they wanna co-work, they wanna meet people, you know, like when you talk about the guests likes to meet local people. So you want something that is not only for the hotel, it's open to the world, and that's the idea of having activated with all the services and co-working.
What are the main advantages that DOMUS offers in comparison to other developments?
I think the concept, the way it's structured, I believe we're better prepared for it to work long term for people. I see a lot of developers, they believe that their work ends at closing, and we believe that our work on Adomos starts at closing. So we put together a management company with very talented people with experience. And because, again, we think that people buy with us for what we're going to deliver. Even if you look something that we did in the past, like, for example, the Sonesta in Coconut Grove, now the Aria, even though we opened it in early 2000s, it still works because it was built as a hotel. We had Sonesta that really played the role of managing the hotel. We were involved and owned the operations for many years. And to date, it's a successful project. So I think this care we have, this concern of the after closing, makes a big difference for people.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Ricardo, for your time. I want that you close this podcast telling something to my audience about the future of Miami.
Future of Miami is pretty much guaranteed. I mean, because when I moved to Miami 33 years ago or up, there was always a talk that Miami is gonna grow and more people wanna be here, and proximity to Latin America, geographic, etc. But there was a lot of things that were not present, and maybe they would be present, maybe not. Art and culture and variety of people, and the business needs for people for being here were limited. I mean, today this is beyond a reality. I mean, it's we have the 5 super strong teams in sports. We have a lot of top museums. Well, Miami, it's sad to be, and I believe it, the Manhattan of the South. Some people start saying that it may surpass New York one day, which I think is a bold statement. But I there's no going back. If you see who is coming and how much they're paying, the $200 million houses being sold. These people are not stupid. They're paying $200 million and they own hedge funds and they're moving here. So I think we're having all the endorsements we need to know the future is bright.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.